Today we're taking a look at more of the Dungeons & Dragons monster cards. Please stick around. I'm AZ Mountaineer. This is our channel, Old School Rules, where we celebrate the community of old school gamers and grognards who like classic RPGs, miniatures, magazines, and everything that goes with it. We're continuing our look at the Dungeons & Dragons monster cards, and today we're taking a look at set number 2. Hope you enjoy the video. As I mentioned on our prior video, the look at the monster cards is an opportunity to enjoy some of the art from all the great artists from the golden era of Dungeons & Dragons. And this was suggested by Falcon215, one of the members of the community. We're taking a look, as I said, set number 2. These came out in 1982. They were $3 at the time, and here's what you would get. You'd get a set of cards. There's a cover here that you could see that would tell you what was in the set, and then there are 20 different cards here that you would get artwork on the front, and then like a stat block on the back, armor class, special abilities, movement rate, damage, etc. All the stuff that you sort of pull out of the Monster Manual Fiend Folio. And I think the idea behind these cards was two things. One, at the table, you could maybe, rather than describe it or use the Monster Manual photograph, you could hold up this card and show the players what they encounter. And also, of course, when you did that, you would have a handy reference on the back side with all of the stats and information that you would need for them for combat or whatever might be happening in your campaign. And again, if nothing else, you just had some great art. Unfortunately, my understanding is these did not sell particularly well. They're not all that, there aren't that many of them out there. They're fairly collectible. One of the folks has asked me if I'd make some mention sometimes when I talk about this stuff about cost. And I think you can see these online for probably $30 to $50 a set, depending on what somebody's asking. If you get them less than that, you're probably getting a pretty good deal. It is important, if you're picking these up, there are 20 cards per set, and you'd want to see either by someone describing them or showing you the photographs that they have, in fact, a complete set of all 20. Because it was the kind of thing that sometimes you might lose one or two, and so you're going to have 18. There's certainly a lot less desirable by someone who's going to pay for them if you end up with a set that's incomplete, and you should be paying a lot less if you're just kind of getting miscellaneous parts of a set. Here's our cover, and as with the last one, remember we have the Monster Manual and Fiend Folio that have been produced. Monster Manual 2 is not out there yet. And so you have 17 monsters that are in those books, and then 3 new monsters in here that have not yet appeared. So something new, again, for the player characters. And I'll get myself out of the way, and we'll take a look at this great art and talk about what's there. If you're wanting to sort of play along, then I think what I'd encourage you to do, see if you can identify the monster before I do just from the artwork, and then B, if you are into the artist, see if you can identify who the artist is. If I can tell, I'll tell you here as we go through them, although certainly they're not all marked, so I won't know. I won't be able to identify all of them. So all these came out in 1982. They were $3, and again, 20 cards. And here are a number of artists who participated in the project. I'm not sure that all of these named artists are in each set, and I'm also not sure that maybe I haven't missed an artist or two, because a number of these pieces of art, the cards, they're not signed, so you can't tell for sure. The first one up would be new if you got these in 1982, and this is the Galab-dur, a curious boulder-like creature with appendages that act as hand and feet. Large and slow moving, they feel earth power whenever they're in contact with the stones, rocks, or ground. And they can cast some 20th level spells like move earth, pass wall, wall of stone, stone shape, and transmute rock to mud, and they can also animate boulders. So they're kind of cool. One of our favorite monsters, this is identified as Jeff D. Art, and it's the gelatinous cube. We've all described them differently. Any serious senior player pretty quickly figures out what the heck they're dealing with. And if they don't see it, if they don't observe it, then certainly as soon as they touch it and begin to feel paralyzed, they'll usually figure out what it is. Classic dungeon crawl monster. And then we have the giant scorpion. This is just a great illustration or painting, I'm not sure which, but I love the way they've got the light shining off of the claws and obviously off of the tail. Nobody wants to be messing with a giant scorpion. Here's Roslof's version of a goblin. I know that some people say they don't really like this one as much. It's quite different from Trampierre's art that's in the monster manual. Everyone's got different ideas of the color and look of a goblin, but they're certainly a classic monster. This is the golden dragon, just awesome. And again, this one's not labeled. And then we've got the hill dwarf. It's not labeled, but I'm pretty sure that this is Jim Holloway's art, just from his style is kind of something I think if I'm right, at least, right, then his art is something that's pretty recognizable. So here we have a hill giant, and that's obviously Rosloff's art. And again, just a big furry guy with some animal skins. Then we have the satyr, and I don't know if SDS is, I think SDS is Steve Sullivan. I don't know if WTW, if that's Tom Wam or that's somebody else whose name I don't know. I don't recognize the initials WTW. And then finally, we definitely recognize this one. This is Bill Willingham, and it's his Spectre. We have a hippogriff. Not this one is not the artist is not named, so I'm not sure if you all can figure out who that is or not. Here is another Bill Willingham, and if I can say it correctly, this is the Ikithzochthl. I definitely did not say that correctly. But this is like the flying manta ray, right? Ikithzochthl, something like that. This one is new, and it is the land urchin. And so obviously like a sea urchin, but on land. And I'm sure you can recognize, obviously, the signatures there as well. This art is Errol Otis, and this is a roper. And I really like his take on the roper, right? Everyone else I've ever seen make one of these creatures, it's standing up like a stalagmite. But here he's got it sort of like a mound on the floor of the dungeon with the eye, right, looking towards you, and then the mouth basically facing straight up. So whatever it can get its tentacles around, it's just going to shove into that giant razor-toothed maw. Pretty awesome. Speaking of razor teeth, here is the saber-tooth tiger. And again, this one's not signed. Something tells me this is Jim Holloway, but I can't be sure. Here's Harry Quinn, and this is the stone golem. And then this one not signed. This is another one of the new monsters in set 2. This is the Three Kreen, also known as the Mantis Warrior. Jeff D. Art. This is his take on the troglodyte. Pretty cool. And probably my favorite, I don't know, that roper from Otis is pretty awesome, but Bill Willingham's Type 5 Demon is pretty awesome as well. And then Diesel's got the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You recall in set 1 he also did a dinosaur. Maybe that's his chosen theme for this project. And then finally, Errol Otis one more time with the Umber Hulk. Pretty fearsome creature, and if you've never used one of those in your dungeon, I'd strongly encourage you to do that. Okay, these videos are pretty short. I think they're pretty sweet. I hope you guys are enjoying them. Great art, a really cool item to have in your collection, and I think they weren't particularly well used at the time, and you might not use them either. They might be something just kind of fun to take a look at. They're not horribly expensive, and there's a pretty decent collector's market for it. So if you pick up a complete set, I don't think you'd have any trouble getting your money right back if you sold it a few months later. That's it for this video. I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. I hope you're subscribed, and I hope if you have some friends who would enjoy the content, you'll send them our way, and hopefully they will be subscribers as well. Y'all have a great rest of the week. Until next time, keep rolling 20s.